So let's start this very, very interesting lesson about the stress, about the revolution that happened in clinical medicine, in psychosomatic, when we discover that the stress have many aspects, but one of the main aspects have been forget about. So now we will go back to the stress history. And we see that the stress start, the notion, the understanding of the stress in the 1915 by Walter Cannon. He identified the flight or flight response. So the basic structure of behavior when a living being is in danger is just or escaping or fighting. These are the two main activity of the stress. And this is absolutely true. And Walter Cannon started to study the stress in animal and in human beings. And he discovered that there were a lot of diseases coming out of this tension. But we have to wait the 56 to identify Hans Selye, who identified the stress as a general adaptation syndrome. And then they discovered the hypothalamus, the adrenal gland, the axis of the stress. Now we can see something that is really important. Since the very beginning, Cannon wrote something about the first action that stress produces in the body is inhibition of gastrointestinal digestive system. So the first thing we feel in our body is a tension in our stomach, the blockage of the breath, the blockage of the diaphragm, and the heart that is beating up. The whole tension of stomach, but even there is some reflection of heart beating, of breathing, and of in the throat. So when we feel tense, the throat gets blocked, the heart, the diaphragm, the belly, and the stomach in particular. All this tension is stress. Stress means tension. From those psychosomatic blocks, we start our psychosomatic mindfulness protocol. But there is something very interesting, because this understanding in animal, because they study basically animal, the animal when is in danger can react or escaping or fighting. But we are human beings and we cannot do that. And these are very important systems in our body. One is the active sympathetic system that is basically activating the reaction of fighting or escaping. But we have another parasympathetic system that is the more relaxation system, more so you work, you fight in the day, and you sleep, you relax in the night. And these two systems have to be deeply balanced, deeply harmonious. But in our daily life, in our human life, we are basically always activating the sympathetic system, and we have very little time and sometimes even little understanding how to get into parasympathetic nervous system and relax. Just let's see this hypothalamus, pituitary adrenal, that is the axis of stress. We usually start from amygdala, the axis of stress, but let's go. The picture of Henri Laborie, he was a friend of us. He was one of the main scientists that were in our institute. And he discovered the inhibition of action. He just pointed out something very simple. Human beings, when they are young, when they are kids, young or even adult, cannot basically escape They cannot escape from their house or from the school. They cannot get in an aggressivity, in aggression towards the parents or the teachers. So what happened? Inhibition of action, he discovered about this inhibition of action, just throwing a mouse in an electrocuted metal cage. If the mouse, half of the cage was basically electrocuted, so the mouse feel pain, and the mouse just were finding some place and jumping on the other side. And then there was a small stress, that is a good answer, and then the mouse could relax. But he tried, after a while, to electrocute the whole cage. So the poor mouse was just jumping on one side to the other, not feeling any release, just feeling pain. And after a while, he just go into inhibition of action. He just freeze and just like dying, doing anything, not doing anymore any action, any reaction. And Henri Laborie discovered that this is basically that is happening in human being. Is a kind of stress, but not the active part of the stress. It's the inhibited part of the stress. And when the mouse cannot escape or cannot fight, all the pressure increases. And there are 3 hormones that are really important in this. The first is cortisol. Cortisol is very important in very small doses. When it's getting high in the blood, hypercortisolemia is getting like a poison. And then adrenaline and noradrenaline. Adrenaline is making fighting, is making activation in the body, in the muscle. Noradrenaline is activating even the mind, the concentration, how to escape, what to do, what shall I do? I shall escape or shall I fight? But when the poor mouse or the poor human being cannot escape or cannot be aggressive, then the mind gets into this controlling hyperactivity. What should I do? What should I manage? Shall I escape? Shall I get aggressive? Or what? And let's see, so the self-defense psychosomatic system. Action and inhibition of action in stress response. Amygdala, that is a place in the brain that is really recognizing any feeling, any information of danger, and is activating the axis of stress, hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal gland. And then, or active reaction, or inhibition of action. Let's see this in the map. So active action means you activated the sympathetic charge, all this left side of the person, or you activated the inhibition of action, so the parasympathetic, or better, you inhibit the activation. And this is something that we all know. This is some kind of stress that is absolutely collective in our humanity. Mainly in a Western country, in more commercial, more technical country. But sometimes even in very poor country, when there is war or there is some kind of disease of scarcity. So let's start a different vision of this. So this is defense system, flight, fight, or defense. And this is the hypertonic tension by inhibition. So you cannot do anything, the kids, the person cannot do anything, and then the person gets tense. And we all know this tension. And maybe it takes more your eyes, and your eyes get tense, or the throat, or the mouth, or the neck, or the shoulder, or the diaphragm. The diaphragm can become always chronically stressed, and you start after years to have pain in your stomach. maybe no, ulcer in your stomach, or heart problem, or throat and respiratory problem. But there is a second kind of inhibition of action that is in the person that they try to fight, and then all of a sudden they say, well, I cannot do anything. They basically are submitted. They slow down. They feel depressed. They feel that they cannot do anything, so they lose. And this is the basic point of depression of people who are closing in themselves. And there are many. In the most critical situation, there is a kind of dissociation. If I cannot do anything, then I go in my mind, in my head, and I just close my heart, I close my movement, I just close the joy, the pleasure of living. And this is like anaclitic depression or autism that can happen in this situation. So, just let's see cortisol and see noradrenaline, but the main the main molecule of stress is cortisol. Just let's see the effect of a higher level of cortisol in the blood due to chronic inhibition of action, like stress, immune deficiency, tumors, autoimmune diseases, inflammation, hypertension, heart diseases, diabetes, metabolic syndrome, gastritis, sleep disturbance, many diseases. So if we understand the basis of so many problems, we can really find a way to move in another direction. We can really find a way to see the problem, see the structure that is an automatic old genetic memory, and just say, okay, I'm in this kind of stress, in this kind of automatic reaction of inhibition, but I can do something. I can become aware of myself and of my limits, of my behavior, and I can relax. I can see the problem not in a tense way, but in a very present and maybe more relaxed and active, intelligent, functional way. Let's see some of the main stress disorder, like nervous system disorder, psychological, psychiatric, anxiety, depression, panic attack, immune system, cardiovascular, heart, gastrointestinal disorder, inflammation, sexual disorder, respiratory disorder, metabolic hypercholesterolemia, metabolic and obesity. So this is a basic problem of our humanity right now. One thing is very important. We have to see, maybe we can see the next slide, the upper part of the brain and the lower part of the brain. Let's see, the upper part of the brain basically is inhibiting, and the lower part of the brain is activating. If we see grief, a basic emotion, the more the mind, the neurocortical brain, is basically inhibiting, controlling, stopping. And the lower part of the brain, reptilian and mammalian brain, start to get up, want to express. And there is a fighting, there is a conflict. And this is happening for joy. The upper part of the brain control and say, don't laugh. It's just stupid to laugh. Don't make ha ha ha. No, it's just not proper. Or don't get into anger. Don't get in fear. No, people who have fear are people who are not strong. So you should avoid to express all the basic emotion. So the mind is in a kind of psychosomatic dominance. The mind is dominating the heart and is dominating the body reaction. And this neuropsychic dominance is something that we all see basically in our life. Every day we are definitely in a kind of basic control of our life. We have to control our dress, our way to say, our way to talk, our way to drive. We have to control everything. And sometimes this dominance, as in a political situation, if the head is dominating the rest of our being, then there must be, like in French Revolution or Russian Revolution, at a certain time there is all the other part of the system that is reacting. There is a kind of revolution. And sometimes it's like the mind is controlling your diet. So you have not to eat anything, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then all of a sudden, maybe one night you open the fridge and you eat everything that is inside. Or you say, I should not do something, I should not drink or some bad food. And then you drink because the body reacts. And panic attack is just a body reaction. You try to control the body, the fear, and then all of a sudden the fear comes up. There is a revolution. And sometimes the revolution is really happy. It's a bloody revolution. So we have to, sometimes the male part is controlling the feminine part of the brain, or sometimes the contrary. Sometimes we get in love and we lose our head. So we do something that's really crazy. And you say, well, are you really, seeing what you are doing, your kind of relation? No, it's just perfect. This man, this woman is just perfect for me. And then we really lose our mind. So there is, in this case, it's very rare, but there is a heart dominance. So we divide, there is a general disturbance, a general disorder, and then we will see in next lesson all the specific emotion that have specific disturbance, the specific disorder. And then there are the strongest disorder, when the stress is really strong, really deep, and is going to concern ourselves. So the self problem, the identity, getting in a kind of very inhibition, very stressful situation. Let's see what happened with in the brain. We saw that there is a neurocognitive axis from mind, heart, and body. Mind, heart, and body. And this is the state of better health. We are together, we feel strong, we feel aligned. But what happens when we close our heart? When we get into stress, the first thing is closing our heart, fear of ourselves, and blockage. So instead of having this system, the upper part and the lower part are no more communicating in the right way. On the contrary, there is some overactivity of the amygdala, the fear, or the locus coeruleus, the noradrenaline, the control. And in the body is like the kidney or the diaphragm start to get more importance of the heart. So the tension take place instead of relaxation and good living. And finally, this stress, after some time or some years, creates some collective psychosomatic blocks or disorder, like mental hyperactivity or mental dominance, blockage in the throat, difficulty to express our feelings, our emotion, difficulty to say something good or bad. No, we are like gulp, gasp, like this. The emotional closure of the heart. Our heart is not like when we were kids, like open, enjoying, heart, warm, open to life, but is fearful, is timid, is protecting, and diaphragm tension. And if you want to just to press your stomach or diaphragm, you will feel basically pain, and you forget about that you have always pain in that part of the body. And insensitivity of the body. All the people that have gone through a process of self-awareness and personal growth have come to experience a much different perception, saying, well, before doing this work, I was not feeling properly my body. I thought that my heart was open, but it wasn't. So these are collective situations, collective disorder, and people, just even doctors, are just concerning with those disturbances like normal. Okay, this is normal. You have a little tension. This is normal. Some panic attack is normal. So what we can see in the people as effects of collective psychosomatic blocks is very easy. The people doesn't have a unitary perception of our body, mind, soul. It's like we feel our legs or our arm or our head, but not the wholeness. People, because of these collective blocks, feel normal to live with heart closed, in a fragmented perception of body and mind. They consider that is normal not to feel much pleasure in living. Okay, this is life. We teach, sometimes parents teach to the children, this is your life, you have to work, this is your duty. Don't think about pleasure, you must do that. And there is a vision in which life, a different vision in which life could be a joy. Your work can be pleasurable, can be an experience, and every day you enjoy doing your work, doing everything. But we consider that we should do that. It considered normal to live in the head, to think always about everything, even sometimes in the most relaxed situation, during a holiday or maybe during a sex relation. And then you still think, what should I do, what should not do? And you are never really gone. There is always this mind that is in control. Three main ways that we have used in our protocol to rebalance this situation, to heal this very collective, strong situation. First is rebalancing. So try to balance our energy, left and right hemisphere, tension and relaxation. We balance our body, like tension with massage. But the main point for a psychosomatic problem is to release the tension. And basically the tension is the inhibition of love, of anger, of sadness, of fear. So we create some situation in which people slowly, gently, they try to get more into, let's say, an emotional intelligence path. They start to know about their own real emotion, old emotion, the one that they have blocked maybe in childhood or in a young time. And slowly they open the heart, they start to express in a very precise environment and share their emotion. This is the very roots, the very basic tools for human emotional intelligence. And then there is the reinforcement of the cells. The self is really something precious. And when we are out of balance, it's like we are out of ourself. So by getting back to ourself, there is a kind of govern a center that is balancing all the situation. And the center is definitely not in our head. We saw in the previous lesson that the center of consciousness is not in our upper brain, neocortical brain. You can cut even pieces of the neocortical brain and is not losing consciousness. You lose some behavior, some understanding, but it's the heart. If you touch the heart, you can die. And so out of these three main situations, we can really create a way not to cure just the mind as a psychologist or is doing, or the psychotherapy, or the body like a doctor, but to create the self, because it's the center of the body-mind situation. So we can do really a very proper work. And we will see in the next lesson how to rebalance, to get in touch with our emotion, and the main emotion that we have overactivated or inhibited. And just by doing this, there is an incredible work that can be done. And at the center, there is always to move from our depression, anxiety, overdreaming, mental control, manipulatory narcissism, or dominating system, and going back to the center, finding our center and our harmony inside ourselves. So now we can go to have an experience of our main blockage. I just would like just to add one point: the holographic mind. In the hologram, each part of the holographic plate contains the whole information. By cutting one normal picture, like a man, if you cut something, you cut maybe a foot. Just by cutting an angle of the holographic plate, you just cut one piece that contains the whole picture. What that means that just by getting back in our memory, when we think, when we have some past recall, the mind gets back into the holographic experience. We experience the world not just through our mind, but much more through our body. Our body feels fear, love, happiness, anger. Our heart feels emotion, feel everything. So it's really, really important just to understand, and now we will experience it, that just by recalling a memory, we will get into this holographic experience, and we will see all that have happened in our body-mind unity. So now we will try to experience inside, with more awareness and sensitivity, what is really happening when we are under stress, in a stressful situation. And we will start to feel the body blockage, that are the main tension that we feel, and sometimes we feel since so long that we just forget that we have that. Okay, let's close our eyes. Take a deep breath, and then stretch gently your body. And when we stretch our body, sometimes we already feel that there is a tension in the shoulder, in the neck. Now just relax and feel the air coming inside your nose and outside. Breathing in, breathing out. and feel the whole head breathing. Let's just open gently your mouth and just feel some flux of breathing from your mouth on your throat. Open your chest. Feel your heart, your breath in the lungs that are expanding and then relaxing. And then let's feel the belly, your stomach. And for a moment, let's feel head, throat, chest, belly, and just the whole body breathing. In order to feel the tension, we should first feel the pleasure. So just remember, even now, in your life, in your present, in your past, just a moment of joy, of relaxation, maybe a weekend, a moment of relax. And just imagine to be there. Even in your bedroom, or just doing nothing on the sofa or whatever, or on the beach, or lying under a tree on the grass, and just doing nothing, just be happy to be there, to be here. This is already a holographic memory. And if we can really remember that moment, we can easily feel how was the breath, how was the body structure, or was relaxed, open, closed. The muscles in that moment of relaxation. Basically, relaxation is when the muscle and the nervous system is relaxed. Something inside open. The parasympathetic system is activating the whole pleasure. Wow. And now, enjoy. Open your heart a little bit and just feel great. Not doing anything. So now, let's change our normal memory and let's remember us in a normal working day, in a manic Monday. We start going back to work, problem, bank, money, working, tension, go fast, get work done properly, quickly. You have maybe studying at the university or in a school, and then examination, test, books, professors, tension. And just remember one moment of tension before an examination, when you are close to a deadline and you have to finish a work, you have to pay the bank for the rent of the house or whatever. And in that moment, just remember your body. How are your eyes? When you are in a tension, what happened to your eyes? To the muscle of the eyes of the front head? Feel the tension. And each person have a different kind of tension. Which one is your tension? And your mouth, are you closing the muscle of your mouth? Maybe they are getting a little more tense. And the throat is just breathing gently as before. And the heart is open and enjoying as before. What happens when we get into a normal space of stress? And maybe if you have had a car accident, a disease, a real problem, you can easily remember in your body what happened to your breath, to your chest. The body changed. The rhythm of breath is like sometimes getting faster or quicker, or sometimes it stops, it blocks. You hold your breath, and maybe after some minutes you just do, and you stop. So just feel your way to block your breath and your chest. In this very moment, just try to press with the tip of your finger, of your right hand, inside your stomach. And with the left hand, just help the hand to go deeper in your stomach. Usually, if you are relaxed, you can really press even up from the stomach towards the heart, and you don't feel any pressure, any pain, any tension. But very often you can feel tension. Just explore that tension. Explore inside and feel. You can go really inside, or you feel like pain. This pain was this inhibition of the diaphragm and of the stomach that we were talking before, that Canon discovered. Just breathe and feel this tension. Feel the muscle of your spine. Where are you getting more tense? Some people react to stress, opening the chest and getting in a strong reaction. Some people get more inhibited, blocked. Some people even just say, okay, I cannot do anything. And they really react as they lose energy. They say, I cannot fight, I cannot escape, so I'm lost. Just feel your way, the way you react to stressful situation. And for a second, just feel the whole body structure, the posture of the whole body. Some people get really tense, like the spine is getting really tense and straight. Some people get more inside, more curved. The neck is more bending. Some other are getting more open the chest. They want to get into the problem with high energy and like a challenge. Some people feel like crying. Some people maybe say, oh, okay, it doesn't matter. Some people go in the head. Just feel your way. And now let's go back to mindfulness. And let's see this whole structure of stress. Usually when we are in that situation, the throat is blocked, is feeling that you cannot express all your emotion, all your bad feelings. You have to hold down, to block your feeling, your expression, your communication. You cannot share it usually. And now, let's get out of this whole tension, psychosomatic blockage, and just let's stretch consciously, with always with your eyes closed. It's like to say, wow, enough. Wow, or it's gone. I did it. It's over. Wow, I can relax. And just move your body. Maybe move your shoulder, your throat. Open a little more your chest. Maybe you can massage your stomach if you feel tension there. And let's go back to silence. Just feel your breath, the whole body. And let's feel that we can open our body, pleasure. We can feel that we can relax right now. And maybe we can slowly learning to try to get relaxed in every situation. Kind of saying, don't panic. Just see the problem. Just try to solve the problem, but tension usually doesn't help. Let's get relaxed, right? Pleasure in the body. Open your chest, open your heart, and feel that this is a moment of peace. And just for 1 minute, let's be in complete silence. Just watching, feeling the breath all over the body. Feel every breath. Feel all your energy body, your field around you. Everything is calm, quiet, peaceful. And we will learn slowly to get into that space and just feel who you are. Feel your presence, your being, your existence, all through the body, breathing. Very good. And just before to open our eyes, let's remember that stress, tensions are present in our body. In the body, they are present in our emotional dimension, in our thought. And we, in order to get better, we can accept them. Even the heavy one, even the most unpleasant situation, sensation, emotions. Let's accept all that we are. Good way, good feeling, bad feeling. Everything is part of our being. Okay. Stretch again, and then slowly you can open your eyes. And every time you feel to be sick, tense, stressed, just relax. Watch inside your body the part that is more tense, and just accept and breathe, and something will change. Without any effort, without any fight or conflict. Okay.